In this fall season, many anime were released, but one stood out the most. Being one of the greatest shows of all of 2024, Blue Box is peak. So sit back, relax, and smash your daddy son, because I'm about to tell you about one of the best shows in 2024. So what is Blue Box, you might ask? It's a romance slash sports anime about a high schooler named Taiki. Taiki is like Asta, but without the females, the guild, the everything. And instead of a sword, he has a racket. But he wants to play Batman and make it to the Nationals with his crush named Hinata. She's a year older than him and the main love interest of the story. She's also striving to play in the Nationals, but for basketball. Shorty ain't Angel Reese. Unlike Dragon Ball GT, there's more than two important characters. Like the childhood friend, Hina, she's a rhythmic gymnast. I had to Google that. She should have just stuck to being the childhood friend, bro. And you got the rival slash mentor named Kengo. He's the same age as Shinatu, and that will be important later. And he also plays Batman just like Taiki. Jokes aside, these side characters the best thing since sliced bread. But I know you might ask me,
why should we watch this slice of pie anime that doesn't even have any humor?
Because of two big reasons. First off, because I said so. Secondly, because I know you get hooked almost immediately because it has one of the best introductory episodes of any anime I've ever watched. It answers all the questions you have when you first meet these characters, including backstories, motivations, and it adds a new factor immediately from episode 1 that makes it stand king against these regular anime high school romance plots. And the end goal was established immediately. Unlike in most romances, I'm not finished. There's a certain thing that shows can do which makes episodes flow smoother, and it's called having good transitioning. Minor spoilers ahead, but for example, in episode 3 when Kengo was introduced, it was as a rival or a competitor for Hinatu's love, or that's what Taiki made it seem like. Then it turned out he was actually a competitor for Batman. Then he had a coach slash rival role instead of a love rival role, which transitions perfectly into episode 4 where there was a park random. Kengo at the time knew about Taiki's crush on Hinatu, so he bet that if Taiki loses, the park random could get her number. And pause, we're not gonna call that friendly competition. That's like you and your girl going to the park with your homeboy and he sees a random dude on the street and he says, "Yo, run one's my man. If you win, she easy access, bro. You can have her." Not gonna lie, if I lost, I would have aired out the whole gym. That's just me though. But it did push the plot forward, making Taiki more enthusiastic to win. But little did we know, Taiki's other friend placed a side bet that if Taiki won, she would have to take him to the aquarium, which transitioned perfectly into episode 5, which was the aquarium day. Using characters in certain situations to tie plot points together is something that Dragon Ball Z was very profound at. That's why I think it's such a good anime. If you think that it's just the pacing though, you're wrong. That's just the framework or the layout to make the show better. What makes the anime so good to me is that it has the most perfect collage of romance and sports ever in the history of ever. It makes it more compelling than your regular slice of life. Don't get me wrong, I love a good shoujo, but Blue Box is way better. Adding the new element of sports makes it so it can have a shonen focus while also having a romance focus. The action sequences, the stroke of the racket, the flick of the wrist, those smashes, and overall just the stakes of the match. They all combine to give a high intensity shonen feel in certain points. It also gives Taiki the feel of a dark horse where he has to trample over everybody to get recognized. But not just in Batman, also his love life. He's literally having a shock with every smash. I know I haven't gotten to the characters yet, but they truly are what compels me to watch the show. Every character quite literally doing their own thing gives it an actual high school feel. And the author does this thing where they won't show you a certain character's perspective until it's time for them to shine. Like say Hinatu, for example, we didn't hear her subconscious until like episode 10 or 12, which is a good writing strategy because it builds up the mystique and the plot of certain characters without having to delve into their systems, but just showing what the type of person they are by their actions and their words, not their thoughts. And that's also what made Hinatu seem more human. We never know what she's thinking. So, when Taiki's talking to her, we're wondering as much as he's wondering. Like for example, in episode 9, there was a scene where Hinatu and Taiki fell on top of each other. And you see Hinatu just staring into Taiki's eyes. There's no dialogue on what's showing what Hinatu's actually thinking, so we can only guess. And Taiki was also wondering what she thought about the situation, but she acted like nothing happened, so we don't know what happened because they're not showing her thought process, they only shows the way she acts. It's one of my favorite ways that the author portrays her characters. And another way that the author makes the characters down to earth is they put them in situations where you would make the same decisions. Like, not every character just rises through whatever struggle like Superman. Sometimes they fold. Sometimes they need somebody else to support them, which is a real struggle. But that's my opinion on why Blue Box is so perfect. If you already watched it, just comment down your opinion on the show. And if you haven't, watch it and then come back, because I'm finna drop another review when part 2 is over. Jesus loves you, bro. Peace.